Hello. Hey folks, it's a great day in New Zealand with youth crime having fallen by 15% in the last 2 years. I think it's in tribute to the police, also to Karen Chua as Oranga Tamariki Minister. Once upon a time, youth offenders were basically being tagged and released. With a lot more security and OT facilities, we're seeing that youth crime trending down. It's a very good thing for so many people, shopkeepers and the like, who were terrorised for too long. I believe the changes to Oranga Tamariki are just simple things like you don't get KFC for getting up on the roof, the locks actually work, the staff are in uniforms. Those are the kinds of changes that have been made that I think are making a significant difference. Well, you've got a 15% decrease, that's great. That still leaves 85% there. And there are some offenders who are just so persistent, they have such a long history of offending. If you want to give them a pathway back to a law-abiding life, then you actually do need some other initiatives.
And what are your thoughts on this ad from Labour that compares the Prime Minister to an egg? Do you think they should be focusing their time on this?
Well, I once saw a politician say you can't be a very good debater if you have to throw an egg at someone. And I guess Labour can't be a very good party with policies and ideas if they've got to make fun of the shape of someone's head. I mean, far out. If you want to criticise someone, it should be on their policies and ideas, not the shape of their head.
Have you seen this issue with Keisha Castle-Hughes and the struggle that she went through in terms of getting her child citizenship in New Zealand, and this idea of if you are Māori, you have citizenship?
Yeah, look, I think Keisha Castle-Hughes, frankly, should stick to whale riding. I mean, you know, the problem is that we are all New Zealanders. We all have the same rights before the law. What is important is that Brooke van Velden, as the Minister for Internal Affairs, has dramatically reduced the wait times to get a passport under her leadership. That means everyone, no matter what your background is, can get their citizenship quicker. The rules apply equally to everybody. When some people try to say, I have different rights as a New Zealander because my ancestors got here at a different time, that's what I'm opposed to. Actually, we should make the law work better for everyone, which is exactly what Brooke van Velden has done with faster citizenship processing times.
Thoughts on a capital gains tax on investment properties?
I completely oppose capital gains taxes. You pay tax on the income that you get from owning an asset. I don't believe in double taxation. More generally, New Zealand needs to generate more wealth, not find new and magical ways to divide that wealth up. One of the things about the ACT Party is that we ask ourselves, what is the right policy, and then how do we sell it? We don't put our finger in the wind and then try and design policies to be popular in the short term. We want New Zealand to grow wealthy in the long term. Capital gains tax does not make housing more affordable. That's been shown around the world where it's been tried. It does not make you wealthier. It actually is all about dragging people down, taxing them more, rather than how do we push everyone up.
Is it your view that people at that pro-Palestine rally are supporting Hamas?
Well, many of them are. Obviously, when you take a group of people, they'll have a spectrum of views, but there seems to be a real lack of understanding that this is a terrorist group. You know, these are people that did horrendous things and would like to do more horrendous things. That's why we have this conflict.
And do you think the Greens are dressing up in terrorist chic?
Well, I don't want to try and give them fashion advice, even if they may need it. The fact is that, you know, I'm worried more about fixing what matters here in New Zealand, and that is how do we make life more affordable, generate more electricity, cut red tape and stop government waste so people can get ahead. That's, I think, ultimately where most people want to go, but you guys can ask as many questions about the other side of the world as you like.
Can you please explain why stereotyping a cultural wear worn by many people, not just terrorists, and saying that is terrorist chic isn't racist?
Well, first of all, it's not in any way attached to a race of people. It's actually a criticism of a group of people, Hamas, who wear something that has been attached to terrorism because they're deemed a terrorist group by the New Zealand government.
It's not just a group wearing that though. So why is that type of clothing associated with terrorism, and why is that?
Well, because terrorists wear it. Now, this is very simple. There's two possible explanations. It's because terrorists wear it, or because you want to do the usual tiresome thing of saying that you're racist. And I tell you what, one of the reasons that people are getting a little tired of media and some of the narratives is this instant jump to the worst possible conclusion. Actually, most people, most of the time, are just trying to get by and make the world a better place. And a bit of mockery for people that dress up in the uniform that is actually a terrorist uniform, I think deserves a bit of mockery, and they got it.
These from the Greens, Labour and Te Pāti Māori were at that Palestine protest in Auckland, that rally. Do you think that some of them condone the actions of Hamas?
Well, I don't know what their motivations for being there. All I'd say to them is, look, there's a few challenges here at home. What I'm doing every day is trying to get more students to go to school and try and unite New Zealand around our shared challenges. You know, there's the people out there like John Tamahere who are entirely fixated on where we've come from. I'm worried about where we're going as a country. For students, that's going to school, and for the economy, that's going ahead with higher wages. Those are the challenges that we've had as a country.
Could you speak to ACT's general position on the conflict in Gaza and your party's concerns about any future leadership in that area?
Well, I think the starting point is it's terrible. I mean, you see these people suffering, and then you ask yourself, what can practically be done about it by a government like New Zealand? And what we are doing, first of all, we've condemned some of the Israelis, we've demanded the return of the hostages, we've sent aid, which is having difficulty getting across the border, we accept, but everyone's having that problem. And we've said that we are prepared to recognise Palestine as part of a two-state solution, but that is a matter of when the conditions are right. And at the present time, there are serious questions over whether the time is right, given the issues of, well, who's the government, what are the borders, what does it mean to recognise people, which could be seen as a reward for terrorism. These are serious questions. I think when you look at the position of the New Zealand government, it is by far the most sensible and nuanced position that there is. And the people who on either sides of the debate have absolute certainty of who is right and who is wrong, I just say to them, it's been going for 4,000 years. You know, if there was an easy answer, I think someone would have figured it out by now.
What do you make of the latest statement from John Tamahere with regards to the situation with Taipei Defence?
Look, John Tamahere and the Maori Party are focused on where we've come from. I'm focused on where we're going as a country. There's far too much division based on identity, not enough problem solving with New Zealand working together. And I believe that what people are starting to see is what I've been saying for a long time about Te Pāti Māori. They are absolutely obsessed and fixated with identity. And when you're more focused on what separates you than what unites you, you don't solve any problems.